Hello everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects. Please subscribe now to get the latest ancient history news and independent research from around the world. In the eastern field of mastabas, directly in front of the Great Pyramid, you have the tombs of Khufu's powerful brother Ankhhaf, Khufu's sons, the Crown Prince Kawab and Khufukhaf, possibly Khufu's wife Henutsen, and there is also a burial shaft belonging to Khufu's mother, the daughter of Huni and wife of the first king of the 4th dynasty, Sneferu. Before we get to Khufu's mother, it is worth noting his son Kawab, the crown prince who was destined for the throne but died during the reign of his father, and therefore the kingship passed to his brother Hetepheres I. Kawab has a huge double mastaba in front of the Great Pyramid, and here we can see his granite sarcophagus, which, you have to agree, is very similar in appearance to the one inside the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. And no, I'm not implying that this is Khufu's final resting place, but it is worth noting that contrary to popular belief, the granite box in the king's chamber is in the same style as the 4th dynasty sarcophagi. We know that his tomb labelled G7120 is Kawab's tomb, as a door relief shows him standing before his mother, with the writing, "Her son, her beloved Kawab, the daughter of her god, she who is in charge of the affairs of Jamat, Merititis, his mother, who bore him to Khufu." Kawab's wife was his sister, Hetepheres II, who, after his death, would go on to marry her other brother Hetepheres, who also died before she did. Her daughter via Kawab was Meresankhh III, who married her uncle Khafre, the next pharaoh of the 4th dynasty. Hetepheres II was likely born during the reign of Sneferu, and she outlived her father Khufu, her brothers Kawab, Hetepheres and Khafre, and also her nephew Menkaure, dying during the reign of Shepseskaf. This meant that she witnessed the reign of 6 different kings of the Old Kingdom. She was named after her grandmother, Sneferu's queen and Khufu's mother, whom the history books record as Hetepheres I. She was the daughter of King Huni and therefore had the title Daughter of God. Her marriage to Sneferu brought together 2 powerful families of the Old Kingdom. Her tomb is the main subject of this video because of the mystery that surrounds her final resting place. The story begins in 1902 when a joint expedition of Harvard University and the Boston Museum of Fine Arts took over the excavations of Giza, and for the next 23 years they methodically cleared and documented the area. Thankfully, the work is being made public on the Digital Giza website, which I mentioned in my last video and is also linked below in the description. The work was led by famous archaeologist George Reisner, but in early 1925 he was back in the United States teaching, whilst his team remained at Giza. On the 19th of February, the tripod of the staff photographer slipped on the limestone bedrock, and the reason was because this wasn't bedrock at all, it was plaster. The area was cleared and the plaster removed, revealing a deep shaft on the eastern side of the Great Pyramid, marked here. There was no mastaba or pyramid covering the shaft, and there were no foundations to indicate that one ever existed. Under the supervision of Reisner's second-in-command, Ahmed Saeed, the team at Giza dug down, and, as well as the shaft, they also found a staircase. The shaft extended down to a whopping 85 feet or 25 metres underground, where they reached a masonry wall. They broke through and found a burial chamber that was filled with furniture, ceramics, gold and jewellery, as well as other types of treasure. There were rods encased with gold that were used to frame a canopy or tent. There was also a curtain box, a bed canopy and carrying chairs. There was also a closed white alabaster sarcophagus, as well as inscriptions. After carefully documenting the finds and the inscriptions, by April 1925 the tomb was identified as that of Hetepheres, wife of Sneferu. So, Reisner's team had discovered the resting place of the mother of King Khufu, and the news was splashed across the front pages across the world. Here we can see a 3D reconstruction of the tomb that was created by Harvard University. It took another 2 years until Reisner could open the beautiful alabaster sarcophagus, and expectations were high because the small tomb was so well furnished. They had even discovered a small alabaster canopic chest in a niche that was built into the burial chamber. The chest is one of the oldest examples known, with some saying she may have been one of the first Egyptian royals to have her organs preserved. The interior of the 4 canopic spaces inside the chest were analysed. All of them contained organic material and 2 of them contained liquid. The liquid was a 3% solution of Egyptian natron in water, which we know was used in the mummification process. But on opening the sarcophagus, to everyone's surprise and disappointment, it was empty. Reisner believed that Hetepheres was originally buried near her husband in Dashur, but the tomb was broken into shortly after her burial. He assumed that robbers had opened the sarcophagus and stolen the mummy because of the gold that would be kept within the bandages, but they fled before taking all the treasure. Reisner believed that the officials told Khufu that the mummy was still safely inside the sarcophagus, and so the king ordered the reburial at Giza, right next to his own pyramid, under the watch of his own guards. Mark Lehner has a different hypothesis about what happened, believing that this tomb and burial shaft, known as G7000X, was the Queen's original tomb. This is because some believe she was not the main queen of Sneferu, and therefore she only grew in prominence when her son Khufu became king. Lehner thinks that the queen's body was removed from G7000X and placed in the pyramid G1A, the northernmost of the 3 satellite pyramids of the Great Pyramid. This pyramid has a base of 49.5 metres or 162 feet in width, and was originally 30 metres or 99 feet in height. No mummy was ever found inside, as it was likely robbed and plundered in antiquity, as happens so often in ancient Egypt, but Lehner believes that this was the Queen's final resting place. The author I.E.S. Edwards had a different view, and believed that G7000X was the original tomb, but the mummy was robbed shortly after its burial. He believed it was possible that a pyramid was planned for her tomb. Zahi Hawass had yet another hypothesis, believing that Pyramid G1A was actually the original burial place of the Queen, but after it was robbed, her belongings and canopic jars were placed in G7000X, which was left unmarked to protect them. The trusted Arab chronicler Al-Adrizi noted that in antiquity there was a sarcophagus inside the Queen's chamber of the Great Pyramid, identical to the one in the King's chamber, which is almost identical to the one of Khufu's son Kawab. One possibility is that Khufu placed his mother inside the pyramid itself. A final idea is that she was buried next to her son Khufu, and so if we were to find his tomb beneath the Great Pyramid, we may also find the remains of his mother. In the past few weeks, what I'm learning more than anything is that the Giza Plateau is so much more than 3 pyramids and a sphinx, and Khufu, Khafre and Menkaure aside, the necropolis is filled with important and powerful people of the 4th dynasty. In the coming weeks, I'll be taking a look at a few of the key structures and their owners to really try and bring the Old Kingdom back to life. To end this video, I'll show you some more photographs of Tomb G7000X and also Pyramid G1A, all of which are taken from the fantastic Digital Giza archive. Thank you for watching, please like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to the Ancient Architects channel for more. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Ancient Architects. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, and please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.